Hi. For the next couple of minutes, I'm going to talk to you about ListPipe. What is ListPipe? Well, it's a content marketing platform that allows us to provide each member of your organization with their own custom website. And on that, we provide personalization. We provide regular, powerful custom content. We'll push an article to those sites every week, and those articles will be very customized, written just for each individual user. How do you benefit from this? Well, there are a lot of ways, and let me list a couple of them right now. One is that we provide organic SEO. This is the embedding of keywords and other factors into the content so that the search engines will pick it up. The other is a social interface. We provide both manual and automated reposting to social networks. We have optimized content delivery, which means a lot of it is very automated so that users don't have to spend time messing with posting content. It's already being done for them. We have the ability to distribute video. We do link building in our content. This is a blogging platform, so users can actually add their own content, and we provide instruction for that to make it really easy. We provide a conversion web design so that each site actually includes a way to contact the user and funnels them right through so that each user knows if there is an interested party. And then finally, it's a great platform for email marketing. So if you were to do all of this, it would be like drinking from a water hose, and it's a lot to do. We know that social networking and blogging are very important ways to reach an audience. In fact, it's the best way to reach a larger audience of customers from your blog through to social media. It really becomes the hub of everything you might do online. So as a foundation for your business, you typically have a personality, and then you have a selling point or the cash register. On the personality side, you have a blog, and on the cash register side, you usually have some kind of engagement site, whether it be a replicated page or a sign-up form. So these are the ways that you both engage and sell on your website. So let's talk about the engagement process for just a minute. Over on the engagement process, we're talking about creating content every week and supplying it to every blog. This is going to give them now a platform from which they can launch all of their social media activity with great content that could be reposted to places like Facebook and Twitter. This really becomes the voice of your company. And as that voice goes out, it always leads people back to your selling point. And in fact, as you repost this content, because it's custom and it has built-in elements that always lead people back to the originator of that content, all of the social media posts will also bring people back to the selling point. And this is the whole idea. The problem with all of this is that if you were to do this manually on your own, it would take a lot of time. And that's one of the big hangups, especially for salespeople, because they want to be out meeting people face to face and they don't have a lot of time to be blogging. A lot of things that make blogging difficult are the writing. Coming up with things to say, how to write them down. You also have compliance issues, what to say and what formats and what regulations there are to be worrying about. There's a lot of SEO to worry about as well if you're going to make this content worthwhile and worthy of posting and get it out into the search engines correctly. And then there's, of course, the research you might have to do to create the content in the first place. And then finally, getting caught up in the blog technology itself can be overwhelming for a lot of people. So what ListPipe attempts to do is really make this entire process very easy. I'll show you the process and how we do it. So starting with ListPipe, we begin writing and developing custom content. We have an engine that helps us produce that content and push it out to each individual user's blog destination. We also have automated sharing to social networks. You can also manually share content as well. All of that content designed to lead out to additional friends and friends of friends, and always then leading back to your point of sale, which is your replicated website in most cases. So this is the basic process of developing the content, getting out to the sites, reposting, attracting customers, and bringing them to your sales point. Another thing I wanted to talk about really quick is the typical process for creating content on the web. And typically it will look like this. You'll start a website and Google will come and visit your website. And you might get a little bit busy and you won't blog or post any new content for a while. And so Google will successively come fewer and fewer and further between because they're not finding any new fresh content. And in fact, when you do then start to post content, Google has already established a routine, and by the time you post that new content, it may be 10 weeks or more before Google actually indexes that content. So the ListPipe way is in producing content for your site every week. And as we post content every week, we're literally training Google to come back to your site every time we post new content. They start to look at the site more and more frequently as they find new content to share with their search users. Now imagine that each time we posted that content was also shared to social networks like Dig and Delicious, and you also have the more popular ones like Facebook and Twitter. And if we were to do that with every piece of content that was delivered to our site, you start building a large history of impact that is going out and creating points of contact on your blog and out on the web. From a corporate perspective, this is important because it gives the search engine something to really chew on, and it really becomes something like this, that is this massive machine out there building new roads that lead people back to your products. And that's what we're talking about when we get a network of people using ListPipe to create great content out there. So we look at an example, for instance. If we have 1,000 participants and we post one blog per week to each of them, and now those people repost out to Facebook and Twitter and some of the social networks, and we do that for a year. At the end of that year, we're going to have 262,000 connections, all leading back to your sales point. Let's look at it a little different way. When we post a typical blog, we kind of measure that and say the average person would take about 2 hours to do that. We can do it in just a few minutes for each individual user. And when they get that new content, we can either automate the process or they can manually post out to social networks like Facebook and Twitter, Delicious and Dig and StumbleUpon. Each of those networks have an average typical number of users. Facebook has 120, for instance, and StumbleUpon has 35 additional users. Delicious 15. The average Twitter account has about 250 followers. So that all really starts to add up. And in just 5 minutes per week, we can really start making an impact. We can have 445 points of contact for each individual user. So let's look at an expanded scenario then. Let's say that we have 10,000 participants, each of them spending 5 minutes per week with a ListPipe blog and sharing content out to social networks and reposting their ListPipe content. At the end of the year, we will have 2.6 million organic connection points, all leading back to the sales point. We provide the content. We have a team of professional writers who are writing great content specifically about your business. It's corporate approved, it's in sync with your marketing message, it's compliant, and it's extremely ready to share. We build in unique SEO points. We localize each article. We provide keywords in each article. We're also personalizing the content with names and phone numbers. And we're also linking that directly back to the sales point or replicated page. So every article becomes a very powerful advertising mechanism that helps searchers find your products and helps get the word out into social networks. Let's talk about empowerment for a moment, because with a site like this and with personalized content, our users are more compelled to share content. Because when they share content from, say, a corporate website, they're less interested in getting that out and rolling because they know that if a friend of a friend finds that content, There's no direct way for them to find them based on that content alone. What we find is that people are more compelled to share content that has their own information embedded in it. And that's what we're talking about, is really empowering each user to share this content out because they know they're going to get the reward for doing that. Every time we send out a new article, everyone will get a notification direct from the company. It's white labeled, and it also gives them great instruction on how to get out there in the social contacts with their personalized content, share that out to the social networks, and it always includes instructions to do that. It's always linked back to them so that they will get the reward for doing the sharing. ListPipe operates by delivering content once each week, sometime between Tuesday morning and Friday afternoon. It comes at a random time. This allows each site to have a very organic footprint, and it helps distribute the load across the entire network so that the message remains consistent and the volume remains high across all social networks as the entire group begins to push content out. So each site will get content every week. We also add social marketing and training on the sites. Whenever we send out a notification letting them know that they have new content on their site, they're going to get social media marketing tips. And then we also provide social sharing tags, and we also provide training videos right in their interface so that they can learn how to do these things themselves. Setting up a site is very easy. Once we get the whole system set up for you, your users can come in and start a site in a matter of 5 minutes. They complete an account page, they choose their custom graphics from an approved source, and they fill out a content page. And this gives us the content that we need to create custom content for each user. We also provide a control panel so that it makes it very easy to manage any aspects of their account that they want to update. So they can come in and actually view their blog from here, log into their blog from here if you give them permission to. They can update their header from an approved list of graphics. They can update their content information. They can automatically connect to Facebook and Twitter for automated reposts to those social networks. They can edit their account information. We have a lot of great how-to information built right into this interface that allows them to understand more about what they're doing and learn new tricks to get the word out. And then we also have some advanced capabilities, for instance, domain mapping. We have an FAQ, and we have plugins that help them extend the capabilities of this if you choose to allow that. Once they have the site up and running, it just takes 5 minutes, and they're ready to start marketing their business while we take care of all of the work and get it out to the world for them so that they can meet belly to belly with people, use this content to introduce themselves, share out to social networks, and develop interest and sell the products.